Hey guys, I thought I would get on here today and shoot a quick video. For the intro fly tire, I think it's very hard and daunting to decide what kind of tools you may need to start out with. And while what I'm going to show you today is maybe not the best tools to start with, they're tools you can grow into. I started with a very beginner kit, and quickly within about 6 months, I outgrew them or less. And this is going to include everything from a vise to scissors, bobbins, lights, anything you may need really just to get started. And this might leave out a couple of things. I will probably throw them in as time goes on, or you'll see them in my videos. Just to start out, the vise I use is predominantly a Regal. It's a Regal Revolution with stainless steel jaws. Pretty common vise. A lot of people use them online, or you can buy them in many fly shops as well. There was a time I switched to Renzetti, and I had a very hard time getting comfortable with it. It just seemed to hurt my neck and shoulders. I don't know what the reason for that is, but when I tie on a Regal, it's just very natural, and I can tie for 2 or 3 hours without any type of fatigue. Going from there, we're gonna start with bobbins. So I'm gonna show a couple different types today. The two I like tying on predominantly are the short and the long Schmain bobbins. They are pricey, but they do make a difference. I don't have a bad word to say about them, but they are pricey, and it's more than a lot of people want to spend on a bobbin. So for that reason, I am going to show you two that I really like that are less than half the price. That would be the Wright bobbin and the Renzetti bobbin. Both of these are at or around $30 or less. They are excellent values, they are long lasting, and they will do everything you need to do. The Wright specifically does about the same thing the Schmain does for a lot less money. It's something I find myself using quite a bit still. I have multiple Wrights and I have multiple Renzettis, and they all get used. The Renzettis are good for maybe a little bit longer flies or bigger flies, something like a streamer. Just a thought or just an idea to something to try. You can get these, like I said, for right around $30. Going from there, something that almost never got suggested to me that I just saw online, and I said, hey, I'm going to try this. I got to have one. And that would be a small whip finisher. This is made by Tiemco, I believe, and they are right around that $30 price range, and they are worth every penny. I use mine constantly. It is just a great item to have. I use this probably twice as much as a standard whip finisher. If you're tying a bunch of nymphs or midges, this is just a must-have item in my opinion. Going from there, I have a couple different pairs of scissors that I like to use, but I always find myself coming back to just the cheap Dr. Slick scissors. And the reason for that is I tend to get about 6 months out of them and they start to dull on me. But the good thing is they're about $15, and I can just go on Amazon, order me a new pair, go to the local fly shop. Here's a pair from Tiemco that are around $70 or $80, and I tie dry flies on them. These are excellent. These are very much worth the money for tying very small, very delicate flies. But for the average guy that's just going out and tying some nymphs like me, the Dr. Slicks are perfect. Plus, I don't feel too bad if I accidentally cut some wire, or I'm trying to be quick and just quick and dirty, trying to knock a couple out, the Dr. Slicks are great. Also, if you tie a lot of streamers, these long fiskers work great. I think you can get them at Walmart or Target for about $15, $20. Same thing that Kelly Gallup uses. They're excellent scissors for bigger flies. The next item I'm going to recommend is the Loon UV Light. You can go to Harbor Freight and get a UV light for around $10 or so, I think. But this runs about 50 or 60. It's rechargeable and it works great. I don't know much about UV lights, but this works great for me. It's been very reliable and I've had it for about 2 years now and it's been awesome. Highly recommend this item. The last two items I'm gonna put on this are definitely splurge items. They are pricey, but I think they definitely improve your tying. And the first thing I'm gonna recommend is this Schmane dubbing twister. This thing is awesome. If you're tying a lot of smaller nymphs, this is great to twist your dubbing. It's highly worth the money. I think it runs around $40 or $50 and I use it all the time. Another good option just to quickly throw in is the Stonfo Roto Twister. It's also very nice and it does pivot when tying nymphs to get under your vise. And lastly, this is something that I bought a couple months ago and I don't think I could go without it now. I actually have two of them, one large, one small, and they are just exceptional tools and I wish they were easier to find for the average person going out and looking. And that is the C&F hackle pliers. This is the standard size and I also have the mid size. These are around $70-ish. I know you have to import them from the UK. I did hear something about that they are going to become a little bit more easily available in the United States, but I have not seen that personally. These are awesome. The standard pair of like Dr. Slick hackle pliers you get will work, but these grip so much better. They're so much more precise for especially dry flies when you're trying to get very intricate. Highly, highly recommend. One of my favorite fly tying tools. This is just a quick rundown of things that maybe people don't expect or don't use on a daily basis. And there's some other things I could include. Just something that's right on top of my bench that I'm looking at right now is a good pair, well, didn't mean to throw it. Good pair of tweezers. These are copter tweezers, just something I use quite a bit. But I could go on all day, but this is just a standard little kit to get you going. I know when I started, I had no idea what to get, and oftentimes I ended up buying the same item twice. So, yeah, a lot of these items are pricey, but I would rather buy once than buy twice and spend twice the money. Just some ideas going forward for the new guy tying. And I did include earlier in my video a vise. Vices are very subjective and buy what you're comfortable with. You can buy a $20 vise and you can buy a $2,000 vise. But I will say Regal has been very good to me and I do use and recommend them. But that's not to say Renzetti or Stonfo or many other companies don't make an awesome product as well. This just suits me. All right, guys, I'm gonna get off here. Have a good evening.